Welcome to the Ask Dr. Deanna show. I'm Dr. Deanna Holdren, your host. Join me weekly as I cover various health-related lifestyle medicine topics that you get to request. This show is for anyone who wants to proactively improve their health position. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Dr. Deanna podcast. I'm excited that you are with me today. Remember, you can request topics by going to deannaholdren.com. You can also visit me on Facebook or on Instagram and, submit topics that you're interested in there as well. So today we are going to talk about sugar addiction. So many of you who are joining in today may have dealt with this in the past, or maybe you are dealing with it right now. But basically, we want to talk about how to eliminate this issue, the sugar addiction, in 10 days, a 10-day sugar detox. Did you know that the average American consumes 152 pounds of sugar per year? When I read that, I thought there is no way that a person can consume 152 pounds of sugar a year. But it's true. If you look at the amount of sugar that is in, say, a soda, for example, or a sweetened tea, or, just a variety of sugary drinks, that's probably one of the biggest culprits. It's huge. It's absolutely tremendous how much sugar is in products. And what has happened is, as our taste buds have changed and they have developed this desire for sugar, companies have to add more and more and more sugar. I read about a study, or I heard about a study actually, where they used rats, and they basically were studying them and they were giving them the option of basically going up and getting, in a sense, a hit off of sugar or off of cocaine. And the rats actually preferred the sugar. Okay. That's how addictive sugar can be to our brain. So obviously this is a problem, and, we, definitely want to do something about it. We also consume about 146 pounds of flour a year. Okay. And I'm bringing that up. I know you're thinking, well, this is about sugar. Why is she talking about flour? Because flour turns into sugar in our body. So we not only get 152 pounds of sugar, then we also get 146 pounds of flour, and it's just way too much, and it is absolutely derailing our health. So when we look at, people who do, reduce the sugar in their diet, what are some of the benefits of that? Well, obviously people will have weight loss for sure, because you're not spiking insulin levels, which then causes the body to pack on fat, particularly around the belly area and on the legs and so forth. But when people do a 10-day detox, and where they are eliminating sugar for the 10 days, they find that they have a dramatically reduced amount of acid reflux. So if you've got a problem with GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disorder, or, just acid coming up, heartburn, etc., it reduces the acid there. It also improves if you've got an issue with irritable bowel, tremendous improvement if you can eliminate the sugar. Tremendous improvement in fatigue levels. Okay. So a lot of people are on kind of a roller coaster with fatigue throughout the day, and it actually has a lot to do with what they're eating and the sugar. We see migraines reduce dramatically. We see anxiety and stress reduce dramatically, as well as joint pain and even rashes. So, lots of things that happen when we eliminate the sugar. You may have heard me say rashes, and you're thinking, why would sugar cause a rash? Well, sugar is the food source for yeast. Okay. So it basically causes yeast to grow in our body, fungal infections, on the skin, etc., and can causes inflammation in the gut, which then can contribute to things like eczema. So it's a big deal. And basically we want to avoid sugar. I always say, avoiding gluten, avoiding grains. If you could do two things in your diet, and that would be to eliminate sugar and grain, that would be huge. That would make just a tremendous benefit there. But you may want to go a step further, and you may even want to avoid dairy. and caffeine as well. So, but sugar and grain are big ones. And it's not just about gluten. For a lot of people, they're sensitive to other grains as well. So what do we want to do, or how do we do this? How do we approach this 7-day detox? Well, first of all, you've got to start reading labels. Okay. You have to read labels, and especially things like soda, cereal, energy bars. They are loaded with high fructose corn syrup. I am not a fan at all. I think high fructose corn syrup should be banned in the market. And the reason is that high fructose corn syrup causes non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So we see so many patients who are 50 and they've got this fatty liver. Maybe they've even already got cirrhosis. Maybe they're getting a liver transplant. Okay. I've actually seen this in my practice. They don't drink alcohol. It's not from the alcohol. It's not from a hereditary condition. It is, in fact, that they have been drinking high fructose corn syrup, and the liver just simply cannot metabolize it. And so it leads to cirrhosis of the liver. Okay. We all know that alcohol leads to cirrhosis of the liver, right? And so you know that you have to monitor consumption of that. Well, a lot of people don't realize that high fructose corn syrup does the same. So we want to avoid, when we're reading labels, we want to look for high fructose corn syrup, sugar, brown sugar, malt sugar, dextrose, maltose, and, so forth. So be on the lookout for those ingredients. You also want to be careful as you are eliminating sugar, from the diet. Be careful of a lot of the artificial sweeteners. Okay. A lot of artificial sweeteners kind of trick your system, and it actually can make you crave sweet. So be mindful of that. Look for healthier alternatives. So if you do need to sweeten a recipe, you feel like it does need something, the healthier option there would be coconut granules. Would be a healthy option. Raw honey could be an option. Maybe even organic maple syrup would be an option. So something very natural, and that would be in very, very limited supply. There is a wonderful cookbook that I love called Against All Grain, and it's about going grain-free to reduce inflammation. And they have an amazing chocolate chip cookie recipe in there that uses just a small amount of coconut granules and a small couple tablespoons of honey in the recipe. And they're absolutely delicious, plenty sweet. You could probably even pull that back some. Identify the main culprit. So for most of us, if we look at our diet, there's a particular area that we are getting the bulk of sugar in our diet. Maybe for you, it's soda. Maybe it's something you're drinking. Maybe it's a juice. Maybe it's a smoothie. Okay. But really analyze what you eat on a daily basis now, or on a pretty regular basis, and try to figure out, where am I consuming the most sugar in my diet? And then find a healthy alternative, something with way less sugar. The next step is get it out of the house. You have to eliminate all processed food from your house. So the only way to prevent yourself from slipping up and falling off the wagon, so to speak, is by getting the stuff out of the house so that you don't have access to it. And this can be really difficult if you have a family. But what I would encourage people to do is to do it together. Okay. Sugar detox together. You can even let them know, hey, look, I'm doing this for my health and it's really important to me. And I'm really going to need your support for this. And so because of that, I'm going to eliminate the amount of sugar in the house, and it's going to be great for everybody. Okay. So get buy-in. Okay. It makes a big difference. You can also make it a transition. Okay. It doesn't have to be, all or none. You can start, with some just healthier alternatives and move it in a slow direction. But for some people, they want to just go cold turkey, and just know that the first 3 days of that cold turkey with no sugar are going to be the most challenging. But the thing I found is when you eliminate that from your diet, you suddenly discover what food really tastes like. There are so many vegetables and fruits, for that matter, that are amazingly sweet. And, your taste buds change as you do this detox and get the sugar out of your system. And then finally, get started. That's it. You can start today. This is one of those simple things that you can decide, okay, it's going to be best for my health. It's going to make a difference. I'm going to feel better. And so I'm just going to eliminate the sugar and the grain from my diet and get started today. Some of the things that we have seen, again, when people are eliminating these or some of the issues that are associated with too much sugar in the diet, certainly diabetes. I mean, everybody knows that, but also obesity, heart disease, cancer is very much linked to sugar, because sugar is a food supply for that cancer. It's actually feeding the cancer. Alzheimer's disease. Okay. So that's trouble, with your cognitive abilities, and then even osteoporosis. So many chronic diseases that we see, in medicine that are linked to too much sugar. And so what I can tell you is it's definitely going to improve your health. It's going to improve your outlook. You will feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll have less aches and pains in your joints, and it will just make a tremendous difference overall when you do the 10-day sugar detox. And remember, the reason we call it 10 days is that it takes about 10 days for you to truly kick the habit. Day 3 will probably be the hardest, but you can do it. You absolutely can do it. And if you do fall off the wagon, just get right back on and go right back to a sugar-free way of living. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that episode. For more information, visit me at deannaholdren.com. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dr. Deanna Holdren. I really want to hear from you, so message me. I love taking your messages and creating topics from them. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share my show with those who have an interest in health and wellness. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.